Underneath the Lewis and Clark College campus in South Portland, researchers will be tracking COVID-19 by testing the waste that runs through the campus's sewer system. That's right, with every flush of the feces of an infected person, an inactive form of the virus flows through the pipes. The college will be pulling the samples and sending them to Washington County Clean Water Services for the testing.
As soon as somebody has the infection, we can pick it up in the wastewater. We don't have to wait for them to become ill and go to a doctor and get tested.
Last week, the University of Arizona claimed similar testing there stopped an outbreak before it even started. Researchers in Oregon hope for the same results.
It can be done, and we really want to try to show that we can do it here.
So we can determine if there is an infection in the community or at the campus level, is there an infection in a given dorm?
Oregon State University was just awarded a $1.2 million grant by the Oregon Health Authority to conduct similar sewer surveillance in 43 cities across the state.
What we're trying to do there is to determine the spread, the rise, and the fall of COVID-19 infections in these communities throughout the state.
The school will be sampling the wastewater at its Corvallis Bend and Newport campuses as well. If the virus is detected, let's say in a college dorm, students could be tested, including those who are asymptomatic.
To date, about 75 to 80% of the infected individuals we have been finding are asymptomatic. And so they're not captured by traditional COVID testing.
The infected individuals could then be identified and isolated for treatment, stopping the spread early on. Lewis and Clark College has set aside an entire dorm for students who test positive for COVID to quarantine. Just one more step to keeping students safer as they head back to school. In South Portland, Keely Chalmers, KGW News.